The last thing I expected to see on a quiet morning was a pair of police cruisers barreling down my ranch road, kicking up so much dust you'd think there was a chase in progress. Their lights flashing, sirens still wailing honestly. I just stood there, coffee in hand, trying to make sense of the whole thing until I caught a glimpse of her. Karen Mitchell, president of the HOA over at Silver Ridge Estates, the one woman in 3 counties who could file a complaint about the color of your fence and make you feel like you'd committed a felony. And now she'd apparently declared war on my boat. I'd only just finished backing that boat, my brand new, hard-earned beauty, down into the blue water of my own lake. My lake, the place I bought, so I'd never have to deal with people like Karen again. But there she was, marching behind the officers, waving her clipboard around like it was a badge of office. Sunglasses, mirrored lips curled in that smug little smile, acting like she'd already won. "Sir." One of the officers started glancing at Karen. "We've had a report of an unauthorized watercraft violating community regulations." I just laughed, couldn't help it. "Community regulations?" I said, "Officer, this isn't even her community." What she didn't know yet was that in about 30 minutes, I was going to own hers. Crazy looking back on it. How 5 years earlier, I'd been desperate to escape. All this sold, my tech company packed up my entire life and left behind. The noise, the deadlines, that constant grinding tension. Bought a 100 acres out here with the kind of quiet that feels like a gift. No traffic, just wind moving through the pines. And every once in a while, a coyote howling in the distance. The first time I saw this land, I knew it was mine. There was this lake still as glass in the morning light, and I built my house right up against it with a wraparound porch for sunrise coffee. I called it Clearwater Ranch. It felt right. For a while, everything was exactly as I'd hoped. Planted a little orchard, restored the old barn, made friends with a handful of folks from the nearby town. The only complication, the perfect little world just over the fence. Silver Ridge Estates with its manicured lawns and a homeowners association that policed happiness like it was their sworn duty. And at the top of that HOA food chain, Karen, early 50s, always dressed for a board meeting, always carrying a clipboard, always with something to complain about. Our paths didn't cross much, which was fine by me, but when they did, it was never good news. The first time she ever appeared, she marched right up to my gate and told me my gravel roads set a bad visual precedent for her residents. I reminded her this was a ranch, not a subdivision, and that I had no interest in joining her HOA. Her face didn't move a muscle. She told me the board was concerned. I told her to concern herself with her own lawns and closed the gate. Didn't hear from her for a while after that. Then one day she tried to slap a sign up claiming the narrow dirt road by my lake was community access. Laminated, official looking, even had the Silver Ridge logo. I took it down, folded it up, and mailed it right back. For months, peace reigned again. Then came the boat. It wasn't just a boat. It was the one I dreamed about during all those late nights in the city. Sleek, quiet, 28 feet of freedom. That first morning, I put her in the water. I felt like a kid. And that's exactly when Karen showed up. Phone already recording. She didn't bother with small talk. "You can't park that thing here," she snapped like she owned the horizon. I blinked at her. "You mean I can't park my boat on my own lake?" She jabbed a finger at the water. "It's an eyesore. It violates our community's aesthetic standards." "Your community," I said, trying not to laugh. "Karen, this is private property." Her voice got sharp. "It affects our view. We pay high taxes for this." I looked at my boat sparkling in the sun. "You've got to be kidding." She dialed her phone. "I'm calling the police and zoning. Let's see how you explain this." She actually did it. Stood there, one foot tapping as she reported me for launching a commercial vessel on restricted water. Right in front of me like I was the villain in her movie. I started laughing low and slow. "Think this is funny?" She snapped. "A little bit." "Yeah." 10 minutes later, sirens. Karen waiting, arms crossed, ready to deliver the final blow. Two officers, one older, one young and nervous, get out. Both looking like they regret picking up this call. "Morning, gentlemen," I say as if I'm inviting them to a barbecue. "You here for a fishing license check or what?" "We got a disturbance call," says the older one. Before Karen can jump in with her pitch about restricted water, she launches into her speech, shoving her clipboard at the older cop, spitting out lines about HOA jurisdiction and shared environmental code. She can barely find the right page. I just quietly walk over, grab my deed out of the truck, and hand it to the officer. This should clear it up. He scans it. Property line covers the whole lake and 300 feet of shoreline. Looks good to me. Karen's cheeks go red. Well, it's still unsightly. Ruins the view. The young cop's barely hiding a smirk. "Not illegal, ma'am." That's when she turns to me. Venom dripping. "My husband owns the marina where you bought that boat. Maybe we'll make sure you never dock it in this county." Suddenly, it's not about a boat. It's about power. She's fighting for more than just her view. The cops wrap it up. "Tell me to enjoy my day. Apologize for the mix-up, Karen." Though she's not finished. "This isn't over," she says barely above a whisper. "Hope not," I tell her, calm as ever. She's got no idea. She's just woken up the part of me that used to run multi-million-dollar deals in a glass tower. If she wants a war, she's about to get one. A couple days pass quiet for once. Then the letters start arriving. Silver Ridge board notice on HOA stationery signed with that frozen signature of hers. Accusations about unauthorized marine vehicles, shared lake access agreements. Threats of legal action. I can't help laughing every time. 5 letters in, I've started a folder just to keep track. A week later, I catch her trespassing tape measure in hand, muttering about shoreline assessments. She barely blinks when I ask who gave her authority. Silver Ridge Environmental Subcommittee. She fires back. "Your book club?" I ask deadpan. She narrows her eyes. "You think this is a joke?" "Nope. But I think you need to get off my land before I call the sheriff." That gets her moving. Next morning, there's a violation notice zip tied to my gate, disturbing the visual harmony of the neighborhood, demanding I remove my boat. Now I'm documenting everything. Photos, video, timestamps. I've learned from too many lawsuits, paper trails, win wars. Then Karen starts bringing backup. First, her vice president, a guy who looks like he calls his mom before every meeting. Then the security volunteer, a retiree with a fake badge. They leave more paperwork, more threats. The next escalation, Karen shows up with county code enforcement, claims I've built an illegal dock, expanded my land, polluted the lake. The officers walk around for 10 minutes, check the property line, shake their heads. "Everything checks out, sir." I turn to Karen. "Told you." Her jaw works furiously. "This isn't over." "You're right. It's about to get interesting." That's when the real fun begins. I notice the Mitchell Marina decal on her SUV. Curiosity gets the better of me. I call the marina where I bought my boat. Sure enough, Tom and Karen Mitchell are the owners. Turns out they're behind on taxes. Their business loan's in trouble and the HOA's been their little thumb. I dig deeper. County property records are public. Silver Ridge doesn't own the lake, not 1 inch of it. The boundary stops 50 feet from my shore. I highlight everything. Make copies. Then I find their business records. 3 years of back taxes alone from Ridgeview Bank. They're one misstep away from losing it all. I bring it all to David, my old college buddy turned lawyer. He reads the documents and says, "She's trying to bully you and her business is on thin ice. You could buy the rope she's hanging herself with." And that's exactly what we do. David talks to the bank. They're eager to get rid of the debt, so we make an offer. 2 days later, I own the promissory note and mortgage for Mitchell Marina. I now hold their fate in my hands. I don't gloat. I play it cool, careful. My plan isn't to destroy them, just show them what real leverage feels like. I call Karen. Let's settle this property dispute. Meet at the marina. She agrees, confident as ever. She tries to make me pay a $5,000 compliance fee to keep my boat. I just slide her the debt transfer document. You now owe me 30 days to pay up or vacate. The room goes silent. Tom's face drains of blood. The lawyer starts sweating. Karen's hands shake. You can't do this, she whispers. Already did. I give them a choice. Step down from the HOA, apologize. Work as marina managers or lose everything. Karen explodes. Tom slumps in his chair. The lawyer tells them to take the deal. Karen storms out into the rain. A week later, Karen's out as HOA president, voted out by her own board. The county launches an investigation. Neighbors file complaints. The local paper runs a story on HOA. President under investigation for misconduct. Her empire collapses slowly and publicly. I keep the marina staff, fix the place up. Change the sign. Clearwater Community Marina open to all. Suddenly, the lake is alive again. Kids laughing. Families fishing. Laughter echoing across the water where Karen's threats once reigned. Tom sticks around, runs the docks. Karen. Last I heard, she sold her house, moved away, left it all behind. That's when the lesson hit me. None of this was ever about a boat. It was about power. Who gets to wield it? How it twists people. How it only works when others are too scared or too tired to push back. I realized sitting on that porch with the sun setting over my lake that real strength isn't about shouting or threatening. It's about patience, preparation, and knowing when to let truth do the work. So, if you've ever felt outnumbered by someone who thinks the rules are only for other people, remember, it's the calm ones with a plan who win in the end, even when it takes time. Especially when it takes time. Funny thing is, Karen always said the lake reflected people's true character. Maybe she was right, just not in the way she thought. If you've ever tangled with a Karen or found yourself fighting for what's yours against someone who thinks power is a birthright, share your story below. Let's hear your battle scars, your victories, your lessons. Because in the end, peace isn't just about quiet. It's about standing up calmly and firmly until justice gets its turn. And sometimes karma just needs a little nudge. Because sometimes the only thing that stands between peace and tyranny is a person with a good memory and a well-dormant paper.